XDP's newest release has a few serious tricks up its sleeve. A real-time heat map visualizer so you can finally see the hotspot that caused those overdraw headaches. Object filtering, the ultimate way to control exactly where decals can and can't be placed. And now, the brand new region fill system. Draw any shape, hit generate, and XDP uses your clustering settings to create the most natural distribution inside that region. Let's go check everything out. Before we get started, if you haven't watched the general XDecal Painter overview, you can find the link right here. I definitely recommend checking that out first. So without further ado, let's get started. And the first thing I want to show you is the heat map. And you will find that here in the debug overdraw. So once you enable that here in the overdraw monitor, you get a list of these parameters here. And actually, before they do that, let me just put some decals here, just so you can see what actually the decal looks like. And then I'm going to turn it back on. And once I just add some more decals, you can see that we get this blue tint on top of the decals, indicating that we're in the cold part of the heat map and don't have any overlapping decals according to the thresholds that we have set. Now I'm going to just keep on adding some more decals here so you can see what happens. So as I add more decals, that color starts to change and transitions slowly into the red, indicating that surely enough we've reached or exceeded our threshold. The thresholds are basically set up through this overdraw cell size and the overdraw hot at stack. What it does actually behind the scenes is the overdraw cell size divides your paint area into square cells, each one counting how many decals overlap inside it, and together with the overdraw hot at stack, which defines the maximum number of decals allowed per cell before it's considered hot, allows you to set up these thresholds. Now, you can't really see this happen, but there is a way here in the show overdraw helper, and if I enable that, and again, you won't be able to see anything because it's always drawn at the origin, but you do have this helper Z offset, so I'm just going to crank that up so we can just bring that grid up so we can see better what's happening. So here you can see that grid that I was talking about. This is divided into 50 centimeter squares, and our threshold is 6 decals allowed per grid that is being recorded. So you can increase or decrease the cell size, and you can also see that this grid size also changes color to indicate again where you are in terms of your thresholds. The thing that I wanted to show you is that you also have this HUD here on top. This max stack 19 indicates, for example, how many maximum number of decals are present in one particular grid cell. In this case, the number is 19, so somewhere here the maximum number of decals overlapping are 19. You also have the hot cells versus cold, so here is an indication of the overall scene and what it is doing in terms of overdraw or overlapping a decal. So here we have basically 9 out of the 22, or 40.9% in this case, of these grids are actually in the hot zone. And as I said, you can change the cell size, but you can also, of course, change this hot at stack. So if I just lower this to say 2, you'll see that we have much more red square grids here, which indicate that again we have more hot zones, and you can also see it here in the percentage and the hot cells. And you also have this hover, which is this here. So when I hover any grid, you can see exactly how many decals are on top of the cursor at any moment. And just to show you this gate mode, by default, the way that the heat map works is that you get a soft warning here. So as I'm painting, you'll see that now that everything is hot, you'll see that it becomes difficult to visualize your decals, but we can turn this off if we don't want it, so you can continue working this way. But what I wanted to show you is that you have this a warning that you get when you start painting your decal. So here you see you get this overdraw hot here, and this is the soft warn. But there is another way, and here in the gate mode in the drop down you have this hard block, and what this does is basically it forbids you from adding any more decals at any point once you've exceeded your thresholds in that particular area that you're working in. So I can paint decals here, but if I've exceeded that number here, for example, and I keep on clicking and dragging my mouse, I can't add any more decals. So this is a great way to work, in which case you can set up everything, look at your heat map, see what it's doing. But once you understand how it looks and how it's working, you can just turn off the overdraw mode here to none and hit the gate mode to hard block, in which case you don't have to worry about anything and everything will be within your limits or thresholds. So that's how this sort of threshold area works for the heat map. Below that you have the show overdraw HUD. So basically what this does is just shows and takes away this information up here in the HUD. You have the overdraw plane normal tolerance degrees. So what happens is this is for any inclined surface where you can't see a heat map, you can turn off this tolerance degrees. For example, like walls or anything that is more steep than the 30 degrees that is set by default. You have the show overdraw helper, which I just showed you. It's this let me just turn it back on. It's this grid thing here. And let's just get this back to defaults. It's this grid that allows you to see exactly how you want everything to be set up, how you want to set up your thresholds. And I also showed you how this helper Z offset, you can crank it up to get it to the height that you're working on, because it is by default drawn at the origin. And below that you have the heat map opacity, so you can turn that down or turn it up. And you also have the heat map alpha, and what that does is that basically in areas where, or instances where you can't see your heat map, you get a more blocky version of it, so you can always visualize what's going on. Below that you have the heat map thickness, and this is great for undulating surfaces or any heat map that gets clipped because of different elevations on a surface. You can just crank that up again and you will be able to see it. Here you have the refresh overdraw now, and this is just a refresh of what's going on in case you've changed something and you want to make sure that what you're reading up in the HUD is true. You can just hit that refresh overdraw now, and you also have the clear heat map, which allows you to clear your heat map. So that's how the heat map works. It's sort of a great way once you understand and visualize the heat map at the beginning, and then you can, as I said, turn this to none and just keep on working with the hard block on and just remain within your thresholds and never have to worry about any overdraw or overlapping decals. The next thing I want to show you is the object filtering. So let's turn off heat map and let's go to object filtering here. Now, object filtering is a way to avoid certain types, or mostly all types of assets or actors inside a level when you're painting decals. And let's just turn this on. Now, as of the latest version, you can also use instant levels as well in terms of filtered objects. So the way you can do it is, firstly, you can come here to the picker. Inside the viewport, you just select your asset, and here it just comes here in the list, and you can see that we have it as a filtered object. And what you can do is just hit the escape key to come back to the brush setting, and then just start painting decals where you want. And as you can see, it becomes very difficult to paint decals on this asset. However, you can see that I am able to actually get some of those decals on there, and the reason is because of this padding. So this padding controls actually the distance around the asset itself. So if I just come back here and just delete these guys and just start again with a little higher number on the padding, you'll see that I can't add any decals, but I can add anything around this particular level instance. So you would have to just play with your padding there to get the exact amount that is dependent on what exactly what actor you have in the viewport. Now, As I mentioned, you can just simply use the picker here to select any asset and it will just populate here in the list. But you can also add them from the outliner. So if I come here to this cube and click the plus icon, you will see that this cube gets added. If I click the plus icon with the circle, then I get the cube plus all of its instances. So that's a great way to quickly add more than one instance inside the list. And of course, you can just hit the minus to delete or use the trash can here. You also have this remove entries that no longer resolve. So this means that if I delete any actor in the viewport, then if I click this circular arrow, then the list gets updated with the correct assets that are currently in the level. So, and of course, you have the trash can where you can clear all assets. You also have this, let me just clear this out quickly and show you. You also have this drop down, which by default it's set to avoid listed. But if I have this only on listed, what that means is that I can paint decals only on this actor or on the filtered actors, but I can't paint anything around the level. Of course, again, depending on what the padding is. So in this case, we are using 120 centimeters, so this pushes it out a bit. But I can't add, for example, anything around or after that padding. And again, you can adjust everything from here. The last thing I want to show you about the object filtering is this tag system that I have here. Now, in Unreal, you can add tags to any actor in the details panel. So if I come here to tags, you'll see that we have this naming of a tag here. And here, once I select an item or an actor that has a particular name or a particular tag, and if I click on this little icon here, which is this tag, then all other actors that share the same tag name will also be filtered. So this is a quick way to just select one actor, click the tag button here, and have everything or every other actor that shares the same tag name just be filtered just as easily without having to list or populate the list one by one. So that's the object filtering that I wanted to show you. Now, the next one I want to show you, I'm very excited about. It's the the region fill. And if I just turn it on and come here, and let's just click on this add button here to add a region. And as you can see, I get this blue spline that I can just add my region. So let's just do that. And once I do that, then I can come here to the closed loop, and this is a closed region now. And you can hover over a point and you can just simply drag it to refine that region. You can press the X key over a spline and you can add points, and again, just to move them. You can hit the shift and click, and that would delete the point as well. So that, again, that's a very nice way to really refine your region. So let's just get that here nice and refined. So we have this region, and then all you need to do is just click the generate decals. Now, I want to show you a few things here. The first thing is that as you can see, we have this middle part here, and I don't want the decals in the center. So next to this plus icon, you have this subtract region. So once you click on that, you get this orange button now. And if I come in here and create another sort of region, which is the subtract region, same sort of process, just click, 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 and then just close the loop here. And once you do that, and I click on the generate decals, you'll see that there are no decals now being generated inside this subtract region. You can have as many subtract regions in the main region as you want. The other thing that I really like about this is this clustering parameter here. So if I increase this to sort of like a bigger number, you'll see that we get this really nice organic distribution of decals. And you can change, of course, the seed number here and just continue generating decals until you get something you like. So this is a really nice way to just quickly populate an area with decals. And of course you have the region fill density per square meter, so you can increase that to get more decals. You also have this region fill edit radius. So basically, so you have the region fill boundary padding. So what this does, I'm going to turn this up to sort of like this big number here. So this is about 200 centimeters. So when I click on that, what happens is that the decals now try to avoid the edges of the main region, so the blue line. So you can increase it even further, and those decals try to come to the center. So this is another way to control how those decals are placed within that region. The region fill edit radius, here if I come close, you'll see that I need to hover over a point to be able to drag it. Actually, let's turn to the blue line here, and you can see that I need to come quite close to move that point. But with this region fill edit radius, if I increase that to a bigger number, I don't need to be exactly over that region. So that's what this is used for. So if you're, for example, somewhere here and you don't want to keep on zooming back and forth, then you can just crank that up, and then you can just move or add points or delete points from further away. The region fill seed is just basically a way to keep on playing with the seed, so you get a new distribution every time you hit generate decals. The region fill filter by active tags, once you click on that, it allows you to, it obeys basically the object filtering and by active tags down here. So if you want to do that, you just click on this toggle here. So that's region fill, a great way to sort of quickly add organically placed decals into your levels using the region, the add region, and then the subtract region as well. The next thing I want to show you is the spray paint. So let's turn off the enable region fill. So let's come here to another clean area. So the spray paint, again, is another way to add decals in bursts. So if I just come here and just click once, you'll see I get this cluster of decals. And the way that you actually make this spread out more is by using the brush radius. So if I just increase that, let's delete these guys, and you come here, you'll see that I get this really cool distribution of decals very fast and very easily to just place them all around my level. Of course, you got the spray count here, spray attempts multiplier, spray use fall off, which means that it allows or that it follows the brush settings fall off here from up here. The spray ignore spacing, you can turn that off, and it will ignore the spacing up here. And you also have this distribution. So the distribution, you basically have two types of distribution. You have the ring, and you also have the noise Poisson. So here in the ring, if I just turn this down, for example, to something like that, you'll see that I can also add these rings of decals if I wanted to, which is again a great way and a quick way to add all types of decals. This could be used for graffiti, for any kinds of things that need just a burst of decals. What else? Oh, we have this UI. This is new, the show HUD. So this is the UI section. So you have the show HUD, and of course you can see the HUD up here. You get some vital information on what's going on when you're actually using XDP. You can see the radius here, the weight, the tags. If you're using tags, they get named here, so you can immediately see what types of tags you're using, and so on. You can of course disable that, and you can just take it off the screen. Now it's very useful when you use this other toggle, which is focus material only. So when I do that, what happens is that everything else in the UI goes away, and you're just left with these two sections here, which is the materials and the materials tag filters. And this is really useful for a invasive sort of way of working, where you don't have to look at all the parameters. Once you've set them up in the UI, you can just focus directly on what's important in the artistic side of painting decals or placing them or whatever it is that you want to do. And you can go back just by simply coming here to the focus materials only, and when you do that you get again the whole UI. So that's why I said it's useful, because once you actually do that, you just need to look at the HUD here and you get immediate information on what's happening without needing to have the whole UI open. The last thing I want to show you is I've added this max per stroke here in each material slot. So basically what this allows you to do is control how many times this particular decal will be stamped with each brush stroke. So this is again a great way to control sort of special decals that are maybe not generic, that you don't want to be repeated. This is where you would just add the amount of times you want to have that decal be placed in the level. That's everything in version 3.1.7. Hope those updates give you even more creative control and peace of mind, knowing exactly what's happening in your scene now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.